Cruces, Cave of the Crosses, can be reached on horseback or by a 45-minute walk from the hotel on an easy trail.
Okay, this is Cueva de las Cruces. The name is pretty obvious why. The local legend has it that around the turn of the last century, around 1900, they had an epidemic of tarahumar and they just laid all the bodies here and put rocks on it. In 1991, in June, Diego, the Oso's owner, Sue and I organized a research trip where we did botanical research, geology, hydrology, keyed out all the local pines and oaks. And we also had a team of an archaeologist and 2 anthropologists. And what we decided to do was to inventory all the loose material. We picked up 668 bones, just laying loose, big skull fragments, every part of the body. And after 2 days of doing this, we just gave up. We kept finding more stuff loose all over the place among the rocks. But we identified at least 21 separate individuals. And there are 53 crosses. So obviously, it would make sense there are probably at least 53 here. We had 7 of them that we consider juveniles, from like less than a year old to about age 16. And the other 14 were adults, essentially 50-50 male and female. So it's pretty normal distribution of family life in the area, they thought. Broken bones before they died, if they'd had injuries. Iron deficiency, and looked like a lot of scurvy, which is not surprising then. Vitamin C deficiency they seem to have. Very, very little chewing on larger animals, and for just laying here loose, it's unusual that coyotes or something don't haul them off, but they didn't. There are several bedrock metates, one right here in this one back in this back corner of the wall we can look at in a little bit. A lot of monos. We found a lot of stone artifacts, scraping stones, 1 drill, a few projectile points, and beads, shell beads for jewelry they had. And one thing the archaeologists found kind of interesting, there was red ochre painted on a lot of the bones. And a lot of indigenous people do that. They kind of decorate the bones post-mortem. Just a red ochre, an iron oxide stuff made from local. The crosses themselves are kind of interesting though. You'll notice there's 2 different types. Some real fat ones, broad strokes, and some thin ones. And the thin ones have longer tails. So you'd have to say either 2 periods, 2 different artists, or maybe 2 different brushes. We don't really know. But we took a sample back to try and get an idea how modern it might be, because it looks like paint. And we took it back to the crime lab, and there's little broken pieces of obsidian, some diatomaceous type earth, plant opal, pine resin, and it doesn't match any modern, pseudo-modern whitewash we can find. So it's probably made locally some time ago. And even though the legend says 1900 about, the archaeologists, some of the bones they looked at, they would estimate 300 to 400 years ago. We filmed our reinterment ceremony. We took the looters' hole, bagged the big bones and the big skull fragments, and buried them all so looters wouldn't take them, hopefully.
Just south of the hotel is the picturesque village of Cerocahui.
Timbalero y el el de la cumbia, cumbia del sol, bailando cumbia, cumbia del sol, bailando cumbia, cumbia del sol, el horizonte se va de mí. Cumbia sabrosa.
There is lots to see. Just don't end up in the city jail.
Ae, timbalero, ven a bailar este son. Ae, timbalero, y el de la cumbia, cumbia del sol, bailando cumbia, cumbia del sol, bailando cumbia, cumbia del sol, el horizonte se va de mí.
In 1681, Jesuit priest Juan Maria Salvatierra arrived in Cerocahui and founded this mission. It's well worth the visit. In 1940, Padre Andrés Lara began reconstruction of the church, replacing the crumbling adobe with the stonework you see today.
Ae, timbalero, ven a bailar este son. Ae, timbalero, y el de la cumbia, cumbia del sol, bailando cumbia, cumbia del sol, bailando cumbia, cumbia del sol, el horizonte se va de mí. Cumbia sabrosa.
In 1941, Padre Lara also founded this Tarahumara boarding school. While there are some 180-day students, about 80 girls board here. The new girls' dorm was completed in 2003.